It's that time, everybody. It's Monster of the Week 3. We're going to take a look at some of the games, specifically the games for our champion, follow their path from round 1 to the final round, and see how they took it down. Before we jump into everything, of course, I have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program, and that means the Phobies team does give me, well, that big bank of coffee that you see over there to my side for producing Phobies content. And of course, they are also providing prizes for Monster of the Week. If you're interested in playing in the Monster of the Week or in Fright Night or other Phobies events, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. The link for that is down by the like and subscribe button in the description of this video. But enough of that, let's get into it. Spoiler alert, Keen won, or Potentia 2, won the event. 3-0. The overall rankings was, first place was Keen, second place was MIT, third place was Endless Suffering, and fourth place was Sisku. So those were our top 4. It was 3-2 and then 3-2-1s, like 3-0 and then 3-2-1s after that. So we can probably look at Potenzia's games. And just kind of go through them and see. Alexa played Despacito. Yeah, that's how you cure kidney stones. It was a shame I couldn't defend my title. It happened. We got a toy break first. Let's do one game and then we'll come back to the toy break. I won't remind me, chat. Don't let me forget about it. Sorry, I wasn't looking at it when we were doing this. So we want. Whoop, this is the wrong tab. All right. So what were your matches here? All right. So Kuro was the first game. So this is game 1 of Monster of the Week 3. Of course, this is a Swiss tournament, weekly tournament, with coffee prizes on the line. We're going to follow Potentia 2, who, spoiler alert, was our champion for this week on their quest to take down the title. So the opener here is Werewolf on the Pyro Abyss. Now, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but one of the things that is important to know is that there are Phobie bans for this format. And for everybody following along on the live stream, the reason I'm repeating this is because I do want to pull this for YouTube. So the Phobie bans right now are Akira, Boss, Attractor, Gonzo, and Unicorn. There are some Phobies on the watch list, but those are the ones that you cannot use in this particular event. There are no map bans, no map ban system, or anything like that. We're trying something a little bit different so people can play. Now, I like the Werewolf opener, mostly because I love Werewolf. I think it's pretty cool. We're actually getting the Gin Sting Bros coming out from our blue player. Now, while there is the answer Gin Sting, it just took the beating of its life. And then, of course, we have Innocuous that also was supplementing the team. I do like Innocuous here, but Innocuous clearly is going to have to vacate. But with that long range, not in bad shape. Notably, we get the retreat to here because, of course, with the way Potentia is positioned, it is clearly super aggressive. They could swing up here and take this stim and annihilate part of the team, hence why the Razormouth comes down to supplement. Now, you may be wondering why Bo Mangles looks kind of funny, because it's not Bo. It's Giggles. And is he going to turn the frown upside down? I mean, at 600 damage a clip, it's probably going to make Kuro happy. Probably going to get a frown out of Potentia. So we do get the retreat here, and we actually get Temptress. Here's another thing that's interesting with this, and I know people are commenting in chat, so I'll try and catch up on those in a moment, but we have yet to see Potentia cap their pocket panic point. That's a little interesting. Ooh, we get the Dozer. Dozer. Shout out to my Ghostbusters fan. Kuro does seem to have a little bit of a thing for Dozer on this map. I went slow movers and they went AoE with Repeller. Aw, spoilers, Kuro. We do have Kuro in chat. Well, spoilers not for very long. There is the Repeller. Dozer for Werewolf works. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Plus, of course, Dozer. Remember, these are all at level 1 for anybody following along at home. Dozer still can pack a punch, even though my man's a little concerned about his current whereabouts. Does Bo do that head tilt thing also in their animation? I don't think they do. Like, that's a new animation, right? Either way, we do get the supplementary snowball. We're getting some healing. Panic point advantage orange. So despite the early beatdown, Kuro has kind of stabilized the board and taken an advantage here. But, of course, the repeller means you get the long-range poke, you get the boop. These things are slow. Multiple things are slow. It's gonna be awkward. Daisy supplements our blue players' forces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not quite maxed out. 7 keys for Kuro. I would like to see, like, you do have the advantage, but this is, okay. As Kuro was pointing out in chat, or had already pointed out in chat, this is a lot of one-movers. This is like 2 one-movers too many. I don't hate Dozer. Like, Dozer giggles, Innocuous is pushing it. I don't know that you really want the Oopsie Baby. The Oopsie Baby would be better in place of one of the other one-movers, and then that way you can supplement an existing aggressive force. You can't march into this. And now that the spider's on the board, even the mighty Dozer is not invulnerable. Like, this is a lot of stuff. Is this just going to be a dead spider, though? The spider turned into a pseudo-attractor? Wait, did you not kill this? Could you not have killed it? 350? Oh, you're going to kill it with the Jin Sting? Okay. Okay. This is fine. I was like, you cannot leave that spider alive. This is why you got to wait out the whole turn and then talk about it, chap. Okay, so the spider gets dumpstered. Oh, I paused it too soon so we don't get... Ooh. The enormous Daisy. Daisy just swelled up to Dozer size and said, come at me, bro. But what I wanted to check was the repeller. The repeller is down. Obviously, this is not down, but this is a lot of damage. Yeah, Daisy's on their bulk cycle. Would have been better if you did it with Oopsie. I agree, because the Oopsie would have been safe. Like, look, the snowball's going to die. But the Dozer is going to require, like, the entire team diving it. But now, the Jin Sting gets picked in addition to the snowball death, and now this might be an Oopsie Baby death. Yeah, like, this is catastrophic. This is, like, straight up catastrophic. The game is obviously not over. But this is pretty close to over. Like, this is bad. This is brutal. I agree that too many one-movers. We've seen this, as time has gone on, it's come down more and more and more to just simply phobie choices. If you respond incorrectly to how... It's not just... Am I positioning my phobies correctly? Am I attacking correctly? Am I getting efficient trades? Am I doing... It's also just, am I putting the appropriate tools onto the board? And as Kuro was pointing out, we're not trying to beat up Kuro here, but as Kuro was pointing out, all those one-movers, in addition to the obvious answer of repeller from Potenzia, means, hey, posed. What are you going to do here? Yeah, I just wanted to die, but everything got killed. Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw that. The thing is here, I don't think this team was really positioned well to dive, which reinforces the idea of, oh, the repeller triple kill. Ouchtown population Kuro. Yeah, it kind of comes down to the phobie choice, realistically. Could that turn have been better? Absolutely. You obviously just... I mean, not obviously, but, like, you could have instead killed stuff with the Oopsie instead of pushing the Jin Sting forward. You still would have had 3 keys, because then you wouldn't have had to pop out the Gravedigger in order to advance the Jin Sting. But I think one of those one-movers needed to be something else, and sooner. I think a displacement effect of some kind, or something that supplements a dive better. Obviously, more multi-movers. But instead, we are left with just a couple more turns as Potenzia here is cleaning things up. Like I was saying, I think as we've watched more phobies and as time has gone on, it has become just a more pointed fact that you must have the appropriate team. Sure, you can out-level somebody and then just, all right, I'll slap down whatever the hell I want. But even if you out-level them, it is entirely possible that you will get bullied if you put the wrong pieces on the board. The obvious case would be they have a bunch of electricals, I march my mechanicals into them, and they get cooked. It seems comical to put it that way, but there are similar strategies that aren't as immediately apparent. One movers into repeller, that could be a thing that could fall into the same sort of category. But either way, GG. That was round 1, chat. Let's take a look at round 2. Here we are for game 2 in Potentia 2's path to winning Monster of the Week number 3. Stalling out a little bit there in my speech because you can probably tell from my attire, I'm going to edit this in. We looked at the game last night during the live stream, but we looked at the wrong game. So redoing it a little bit now so that we can get the correct game in there and make sure that we're bringing you the hottest, freshest, and most accurate game reviews from this particular event. So we're here on The Floor is Lava, which if you haven't seen already, I'm going to be posting a rather in-depth discussion about Alien Engineer's strategy on this map so you can try and dominate as player 1. And we'll see if Potentia leans into that here. So we do get Boomer and Tickles. Now, interestingly enough, our orange player, Mitophobia, is using somewhat of that game plan, but not really. Not really. I don't know why my frames are dropping. I don't know. It looks like Potentia is not interested in... Yeah, what is going on? Why are my frames dropping? That was weird. Potentia is actually going for a more classic build on this map. In this particular case, it's going to be Honey Bear. Why is Honey Bear important? Well, you can turn off the opposing panic points up here. And I did this to somebody the other night. It's not exactly the most thrilling strategy to watch evolve, but it is somewhat of a consistent one. It is very difficult to manage if you don't pop out your own Honey Bear, because right now it's a 3-to-1 panic point advantage, and when this dies, it's soon going to be a 4-to-1. At least for a time. At least for a time. But as you can see at the bottom, this is not a very long game. I tried the Alien Engineer Rush yesterday, won like 3 out of 4 games doing it. It's a strong strategy. I'm looking forward to see what the community's feedback is when that video goes up this week. By the time this video is live, and hopefully I'll remember to edit this in if I get the thumbnail built in time, the video will already have gone up. There is a defense to it, Hakune, and it's actually a spoiler. Maybe I'll get that one up there because somebody went and did the homework for me and looked up my own video from months ago where we looked at Hakune defending as player 2 on this map, or defending in general on this map with Gravedigger openers. We did spend some time trying to break down potential options to defend it, but this is what I think a lot of people, and why I always tend to refer to this map as the floor is poop, because you could call it the floor is puke if you prefer, because Honey Bear has puked everywhere. Quite literally, Bo Mangles is on the hot seat right now. And look at this hard health. Like, I'm going to pause this briefly. It's a rough time. It's a rough time if you are our orange player. That's, in fact, a dead bow. We actually have Misanthrope coming down, which is fascinating. For some reason, preserving this Boomer. I guess I kind of get it because, like, orange player could blow up the Boomer, get pulled onto the point or something. I guess. I mean, when you're defending on this map, and this is true of all Phobies games, you need to utilize your life total as a resource. You're not dead until your heart is dead, of course, or all your Phobies are gone for that matter. But the point is until you're dead, you're not dead. And I know that sounds silly, but the point is that you can use that temporal resource, the time resource of your heart health, to try and make plays that will eventually put you ahead in the game, because you are beating up your opponent, you're eliminating their threats, you're crushing their phobies, and then you take over the game. You don't have a whole lot of time to do that on this particular map. This is a map which, as you can see here, we're going back to a 4-to-1 panic point advantage, 800 damage a turn. I don't really like the way Mitophobia responded here, but I have to imagine there was a non-zero amount of panic about the Honey Bear. Like, what are you going to do? There's only so many things you can do. Often Honey Bear is the answer to Honey Bear, because then you can at least stem the bleeding, you drag the game out, and then you try and go over the top with something. But that's all she wrote. That's all it is for round 2. A very quick one for our eventual winner, Potentia 2. GG, on to the next. All right, so here we are, the third and final round for Monster of the Week 3. Obviously, there were a number of other competitors, but this was the determining factor for our finals. Potentia going up against Endless Pain. We return once again to the Pyro Abyss. This has been, I think, shooting up on a lot of people's depth charts, I guess, or choices for maps, which is interesting because it's not a map that I think many people would immediately cling to, right? Like, this is not a map that I think a lot of people would quickly jump into given the option. Don Tinkle Trousers, what's good? So we do have Potentia here, our blue player, going with the early Werewolf once again, but this time swinging it all the way to the top. Of course, they're going second this time, so it screws with their options just a bit. Hematic Ginsting coming out very early, and this is kind of scary. This is a scary position to be in if you're an orange player. You don't really have a good way to respond to these things. And the answer that they chose to go with is Glob. Shout out to my Glob fans out there. Let's hear it for Glob in chat. Glob and Innocuous. All right, Innocuous is, as we saw in other games, Innocuous is pretty dangerous, pretty scary. Although it didn't do a great job on the first game on Pyro Abyss. Glob is reasonable against Werewolf. Is it, though? I legitimately do not like Glob. Don't get me wrong. There are some... What the hell was Ginsting doing there? That was weird. I don't like Glob for a few different reasons. I do like this push from Potentia. There's a healing spa on the map. Obviously, Werewolf is tanky. So you get the early claims here. And the Repeller follow-up to fight the Glob, I think, is great. And this is part of the reason that I do not like Glob, especially early in the game. It is relatively trivial to just boop it. Bop it. Twist it. Squish it. I don't know. Something like that. So the challenge here, of course, is how do you get the value out of the Glob? So you got your 1 key already. Glob is not just a phobia, it's a lifestyle. I mean, that may be true. So we get the Ray Chargels. This feels like an aggressive Ray. This is also... Okay, so hold on. This positioning is a straight-up challenge from Potentia. Because clearly, this can reach, and this can reach. Now, the problem is, of course, for Endless Pain here, our orange player, is that, okay, you connect with the Glob. You are not getting 900 more damage from this. This is where we started. This can't reach. This does have a leap, so this could be 14 and another 3, that's 17. But it's not enough damage. It's not enough damage to kill this Ginsting, and then, of course, you boop it, the Ginsting gets to just unload, and all your stuff is going to be in range of going to get obliterated. So this is a challenge from Potentia, and very, very good aggressive positioning. Don't just use Glob, be the Glob. Something like that. So we do get the boop here onto the Werewolf, but it's not going to be enough damage. So our orange player is going to creep forward. But this is kind of scary. Like, I would not feel comfortable with it. Like, this is probably going to result in some kills here. We'll see whether Potenzia decides to go for it or they're going to play more defensively. Oh, they want it. Oh, they want it. We get a little more bees. That's a dead cat. That's a dead cassowary. That's a dead repeller. And that, I'm not going to lie, is like the game on the spot, almost. There's still 16 keys for our orange player. You can kill the Ray. The Ray kill is pretty much assured, if you want it. But the tempo loss here is kind of rough. It's kind of rough, because if you commit onto the Ray, you're going to lose more keys. It's not as though Potenzia, if they lose the Ray, is suddenly out of it. These are in range. If not immediately, they will be. And then, of course, the Jin Sting's in range. This is a really tough spot. It's not impossible, but this is a really tough spot to dig yourself out of. Interestingly enough, neither player went for a Terraform. And I don't think we saw a Terraform in the first game on this map either. Or any of the maps, for that matter. We haven't seen a... Wait, we did see a Gravedigger in one of the games, didn't we? Yeah, we saw a Gravedigger break one of these blocks. But it was relatively late. So, the response from our orange player is Zappy. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. Is this a dead glob? I mean, the boop is live, right? No, boop either is not live or Potenzia doesn't want it right now. Pour one out for the glob fans. Down goes the glob. Rip. It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. I don't love the response from, and like, the glob was not great. I know I said I liked Zappy, which I kind of do, but the Zappy, yeah. Game. I can't disagree with Endless Pain there. This was going to be a very difficult game to claw back into. I think this, again, came down to Phobie choice. As I said, I don't want to crap on Glob entirely. But it was not the Phobie here. I don't think that was the play. Glob requires very specific circumstances to be valuable. I don't know that you... If we assume that it's a quote-unquote real game, I don't know that you absolutely have to have paddles. I can envision a world where Glob solo is viable. However, it's a real challenge to make that a reality, I think. It's just so hard to get Glob to connect in ways that are beneficial, that don't destroy your own board position in the process. But either way, GG and congratulations to Potenzia, our champion for Monster of the Week 3. So as mentioned, those were 3 of the rounds from Monster of the Week. Of course, there were a lot of other games going on, and we may take a look at some of those later on tonight on the live stream. The link for that, as well as the Discord, where you can find out about Monster of the Week, as well as Fright Night, are in the description of this video. Come on by. The Phobies are fun. But that's going to do it for this video, so as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.